Improvisational theme song. Hello and welcome back to Here There Be Monster Fuckers, the weekly podcast where I talk about everything monster fucking and why monsters are just the most lovable and fuckable of all. Just everything of all time. The reason why I was like, weekly is because I actually missed a week because I was in the hospital. Like, you get a podcast up, one you've been wanting to do for a while, get some episodes recorded, you get them out there, people seem to like them, and you're like, yeah, I can't wait to record the next week's episode, and then boom, you're in the hospital, and you're like, fuck, this is gonna mess with my schedule and the algorithms like, I really tried, but I was just like laying there in the hospital, and I'm just like, well, there goes that schedule. I was gonna be weekly, but yeah, I guess we gotta skip a week, and then here it is, like late in this week, and I'm just now getting enough energy together to record another episode. Which, I need to, what is this? This is self-love, being like, you were literally in the hospital. Now, like, you can just, rest. And my brain is all like, no rest, only work. And I'm just like, you're right, but you're wrong, but you're right. So here I am. Luckily, this is fun and I love to do it. So as soon as I felt well enough, I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about more monsters and fucking. But actually, no, because when you're laying in a hospital bed, you aren't really in the mood for fucking. Well, depends on why you're there. But like for me, when I was there in the hospital, I was like, I wasn't really thinking about fucking. I was just thinking about, man, this sucks. Like, and I really wish there was someone here that was just nice and sexy and monstrous to take care of me. Have hashtag real thoughts. Like, I just remember laying in the hospital bed and it was like 3 a.m. So like nobody was really around and the nurses were like out at the nurse desk and I'm just laying there and I'm just like, man, it'd be really nice to just, have someone to talk to or like have someone to cuddle with. Nothing sexual, just like here, have a cuddle buddy that is also a monster. Like, so I was just like, well, if I were to have, like, be able to ritual summon blood and chalk on the floor in the middle of this hospital, because actually, if you're gonna need blood, the hospital would actually be the best place to be. But anyway, if I were to ritually summon some type of monster, not for the express purpose of fucking, no, I want this monster to be like daddy, but like daddy. Like, wait, let me look at my notes. Like, I wrote down, like, daddy with a D, uppercase D, and then daddy with, like, a lowercase D. And I'd just be like, yeah, I just want a monster to be daddy, or, like, nurse daddy. Can we just have that? What monster would that be? And I was just laying there racking my brain, because honestly, I couldn't do much anything else. I was so sick. Oh, my God. I was like, ugh. I felt like I was dying. It was awful. And I was like there racking my brain, and I'm just like, who would make a better nurse than all these like trained professionals here in this hospital? Because screw you guys, you're not monsters. And my mind ultimately landed on, I was like, ooh, actually, Abe Sapien would be excellent for this. Like, and I was like, yeah, fucking Hellboy Abe Sapien would actually be a very, very good choice for like your daddy. You're like your nurse daddy, not like your daddy, I'm gonna bend you over and like spank you till you scream daddy. That there's a time and a place for said daddy. Oh yes, there is. But not in the hospital. I just want me like a regular old kind of nurse daddy to keep me comfort and just give me some cuddles. Cause I'm a little needy bitch. But yeah, it was like Abe Sapien. So once I got home, and I've been home for a little while now. I still have some medicine I need to take. Still feel really tired. Like, all I just want to do is lay in bed and sleep. And some people would take that as a sign and be like, hey, your body is healing. It needs rest. And me, I'm just like, no, I refuse. This is a problem and I need therapy, but whatever, I have student loans instead. So I was just writing down all my reasons why Abe Sapien would just be the bestest daddy of all the daddies, especially when you are sick. And I am here to share them with you because honestly, Does Abe Sapien get enough love? I think after the Hellboy movie came out and like people were introduced to him as a character, they're like, "Oh, cool. Abe, that one." But to be honest, like most people that like haven't read the comics, when I talk about Hellboy, they're all like, "Yeah, oh, Hellboy is so hot with like he has horns, he has that sexy ass tail and the arm." And I'm like, "Yeah, Hellboy is cool. He's an interesting character, but like the films on their own, I love Guillermo del Toro to death. I, some of his other creations are going to be coming up on future episodes because the man is just a monster fucker in and out and like absolutely understands monsters to a T, and I just fucking love him. Anyway, he understands monsters, but the films honestly didn't really have enough time to really go into Abe Sapien and like really just talk about how cool of a character he actually is. And so I was like, yeah, Abe Sapien, I'd want to ritual summon them and just have him be my nurse daddy for like 2 weeks. Can I get 2 weeks, please? That would be amazing. So, first off, if you are unfamiliar with Hellboy, go watch the movies. That's probably the best introduction I can give to you. Like, all two of them? Yeah, two of them, because that remake doesn't count. Just the ones directed by Guillermo del Toro, it'll give you a very good idea of, the basics, right? And if not, go read the comics. They're really good. Like, most of them are actually pretty good. Yeah, that was me thinking, yeah, pretty, like, solid run. Good job, guys. But if you don't know, Hellboy and friends, Liz and Abe, work for an organization that battles supernatural things. It is not like Supernatural. Like, I had somebody one time be like, oh, so it's like Supernatural with, like, the Winchesters and they battle No, fuck you. Hellboy came first. And it's completely different vibe and feeling. Okay. I feel like I need to quantify this. I don't hate Supernatural, okay? Supernatural's cool, Supernatural's fine, but like there's a very clear and obvious divide between like supernatural stuff and Hellboy stuff. Like Hellboy's like more gothic, ethereal, darker tone kind of thing. And I always felt Supernatural was more like light and fluffy and fun and boys jaunting across the country, even though it had its moments, but Hellboy just sometimes got dark. Not dark, but dork. In the best possible way for my little teenage emo self and my adult emo self, because you never grow out of that. What are you talking about? I fucking depressed My Chemical Romance for life. But so to introduce the character of Abe Sapien to you all, he is a fish humanoid type of person, if you're not aware of that. A lot of people think he and the creature from the asset from The Shape of Water are the same thing, and it's like, no, the timeline doesn't work out because Abe Sapien in the comics was discovered in like the 1970s, and Shape of Water is clearly set in the 1950s, I want to say, like 50s, 60s, so timeline doesn't quite work out. And Abe Sapien came out of the tube that he was discovered in, talking and walking and being all wonderful and awesome. So I want to debunk that right now. If you think that, it's like, no. Even Guillermo del Toro has come out and said, no, Shape of Water creature and Abe Sapien, two different things. Sorry, but not sorry. It's not an Abe Sapien origin film, although we would really all want that because Abe is baby. He's so sweet. Okay, anyway, so let's just get into it. Sorry. He baby. And it's not because because the films kind of portray him as being like, kind of meek and not really the best fighter. He's good at investigating and very smart and stuff. But no, Abe can kick ass. Like, let's just put that out there right now. Abe is like a master at hand-to-hand combat. He is deadly and really hard to kill. Like, he has been shot, he has been stabbed, he has been impaled several times, and he just keeps coming back. So it's just kind of assumed that he's immortal because no one's been able to kill him yet for good anyway. And not like comic books where like they always come back. No, it's literally like he heals from nearly anything. But why is he baby? Why is Abe Sapien just baby? And more importantly, why do I want him to be my nurse walking around my house giving me medicine and cooking me meals? Well, it's because Abe Sapien is one water creature. So I talked before in an episode about how much I love spiders and like I have a thing for spiders. And I think right there neck and neck with spiders for me is like reptile amphibious water things. Like I can't quite quantify it because they're all in like it's kind of like the same category. So like, you know, the creature from Shape of Water, probably going to get their own episode. Fucking Thane from Mass Effect 2, Garrus Vicarian. Oh god. Oh my god, that's scary. Oh my god, the Garrus fucking Vicarian. If you have not played Mass Effect and you do not know who I'm talking about, just go and fucking play Mass Effect because god damn, he fine ass motherfucker and that voice, oh, like Shepard. I'm doing my calibrations. Anyway, no, this is not about him. That future episode, Garrus Vicarian. Ooh, hallelujah, Garrus Vicarian. Yes, thank you, Lord. But no, this is about Abe Sapien here. And so, since Abe Sapien is very much so connected to water, I think I just have a thing for water. Like, I really love water, like being submerged and swimming and going around and just like being in water just gets me really excited and it tingles me. That fucking Disney reference. Can I not though? Every time. God damn it. But I do. Like I'm a certified scuba diver. So I like going down and under the ocean and just chilling, just hanging out. And I know other people will hear that and be like, that sounds terrifying, because there are people out there that are legitimately afraid of open water in the ocean. I'm like, nah, let me just chill in that bitch for like hours. Although I will grant it to you, night diving is absolutely terrifying, and I am not a fan of. I'm not a fan of night diving. I have a friend of mine that loves it, and I'm like, dude, that's even for me, that's pushing it. Because it's just so dark and creepy. Anyway, moving on. Stay on. Focus. Target. Focus. Abe Sapien is a water creature, and I love water, so that automatically makes him high up in my books. And plus, isn't water like subconsciously or consciously or something connected to healing? Like, you know, the healing waters or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what my mind was going for. But then, oh no, that just has very dark connotations that I'm just realizing. It's like, I love water and water creatures, so does that mean I want healing on deep down? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I mean, well, you know, hey, at least I'm aware. Here we are, folks. At least I'm aware. So, Abe being a water guy just makes it so much better, because maybe like if he was around, he would take me into water, and then we could just hang out and cuddle in water. Like, I don't even care if my skin gets pruny. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm pruny, and I'm like, I don't care. I like being pruny. Pruny is fine with me. And so it's like, yeah, we could just be underwater for a while, and that would be extremely comforting, and I would appreciate the hell out of that. And plus, also, reason number 2 why Abe is just absolute baby, and I would really love him as like a nurse right now, is because he's so sophisticated. And the movies did a really good job of showing this. Whereas like when you're introduced to him, he's like reading 4 different books at the same time. And he's like, oh, please turn the page. And like, oh, okay, here, turn the page for you. And so he's like solving Rubik's Cubes, which I've literally never been able to do in my entire life. I've tried. And I know that there are like tutorials like, oh, you just flip it and go this way and that way. Fucking it's easy. Blah, here, solved. I'm like, no, fuck you. I hate Rubik's Cubes. I can never solve one. And I just want to give up on all Rubik's Cubes, because the mechanisms for solving one just elude me, apparently. But not Abe Sapien. Like, he would be so patient, and he would just be like, here, and then you just go this way and that way. It would be like that scene from Ghost, but instead of pottery, Rubik's Cube. And that's sexier? I don't know. I'm such a nerd. I don't know, but it'd be nice. Or like, you know, he could just like read me poetry or read me a book, or I don't know if he can play an instrument or not, but I'm pretty sure, because he's like a genius level intellect. So I'm pretty sure he plays like several instruments. So he'd just be there underwater or above water. I don't fucking care. And he would just be like playing a fucking violin or some shit, or like the piano, and I'd just be there healing, listening to wonderfully played classical music. It'd be sophisticated as fuck, and I'd love it. Because that's what we need for healing. Sophistication. I mean, yeah. Well, Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm sticking with that. Sophistication helps healing. We need the classical music, we need the Rubik's cubes, we need the poetry, all of that. Scientifically proven helps you heal. This is my tiny hill that I will die on. I approve. I'm standing by this. And just also I feel like Abe Sapien would just like it just like make you feel good, not sexually. Once again, this is monsters, yes, that I would like to fuck, but in this particular case, since I am sick and maybe not have the physical capacity to be doing fucking, we're just talking about nurse daddy monsters here. And so when I say feel good, I mean like, good cuddles, good snuggles. And then some people be like, but he's a fish person. Like, wouldn't that feel weird? No, fuck you. He would feel amazing because if you've ever like touched the side of like a shark or like a stingray, have you ever touched a stingray? Like they feel so goddamn smooth. I love it. I absolutely okay. So people are gonna probably listen to these and wonders like, why is she touching all these sea creatures? Because in my Davy Jones episode, I talked about touching octopi, octodes, whatever the plural is. And now I'm talking about touching stingrays and sharks. And people are like, where the fuck are you? Where are you touching all these sea creatures? Fuck you. I like the ocean. I've touched many a sea. That sounds dirty. But going back to my initial point, he would feel nice, I assume, you don't see me, but I'm like stroking the air. He would feel nice because if he feels anything like a shark or like a stingray or like a dolphin, or even like a lizard, I would accept that too. Like, hey, snakes. People have touched snakes. That's normal, right? They feel nice. And so it'd be good cuddles and good snuggles. But also, like, he's very intelligent, and I feel like he'd be very kind and caring and would be able to be like, hi, so let me just, talk to you. Let me give you some nice words of affirmation, some positive feedback, just some good vibes for your neural network, just all that kind of stuff. Like, just be able to say, like, the right things at the right time that just give you all the nice, warm and fuzzy feelings. Not the sexual feelings, maybe a little, because those are always welcome in like small quantities when you're sick, right? Don't get me too riled up because then I can't do anything because I'm sick, but then now I'm just sexually frustrated. But like, give me just like a little bit of it. Give me the warm and fuzzies and tinglies. Make me feel like I'm a good girl and I feel loved. And I will take that. I will accept that. And I feel like Abe Sapien would be really, really good at that. Hell, like if you talk to me underwater, sound travels really well underwater. Would I be able to answer back? No, not really, but hell, I just sit there and listen. It'd be great. I love it. In between the underwater violin, this is a whole fucking fantasy. I accept it though. Like I have long accepted who I am and what I am, and this is what I want apparently when I'm sick, and I accept this. But then also just, and this is funny because this is the last thing that actually occurred to me, is that, and this should be more important, but Abe Sapien, like I said, has a genius level intellect, and in the comics it has been shown that he's pretty good at medical stuff. Like he has a nice medical idea, vocabulary, repertoire, whatever it is you want to say. And so I'm just like, oh shit, yeah, right. He could be an actual doctor, like nurse. Like he would actually have like medical experience, knowledge that would be helpful in, curing disease and helping someone heal. Like I have no idea why. That was literally the last thing to come to mind. And especially since I just got out of the hospital, surrounded by medical professionals with, their varying degrees and doctorates and things like that, that have to actually study how the human body works in order to be able to heal it to some capacity. And the last thing on my list of someone that I would want to be with me to, like, nourish me back to health is like, oh yeah, medical knowledge. That would be good. And all of my fantasies of like being underwater, violin, words of affirmation, and then the last night kicks in. Oh yeah, maybe knows how to put in an IV. Knows, which medicines to take that don't have adverse reactions if you take them together or some shit. I don't know. That might be important. It is what it is. Like, and that's doubly sad because I come from a medical family. Like, there's so many fucking nurses and like all kinds of stuff in my family. If they heard this, they'd be deeply disappointed in me. I'm sorry. Honestly, this probably wouldn't be the most disappointing thing. Let's be real. So it's just, hey, it's fine. I didn't go to school for nursing, even though some of them might have wanted me to. I still didn't do it because that shit is depressing and nerve-wracking. And nurses are amazing and I love them. But holy shit, that job is hard. No, not for me. I can't. Kudos to you if you do it. If you are a nurse listening right now, I love you. I respect you. I honor you. You are hardworking. You are beautiful and wonderful. And you don't get enough credit. You really don't. You really 100% don't. And that is another tiny, I guess it's not a tiny hill. That is a hill I will die on. Another hill. There are many of these hills around that I will die on. So, yeah, medical knowledge. That would be necessary to some capacity now, wouldn't it? Oh, so now that I am thoroughly sad that I will not be getting my nurse daddy anytime soon in the form of Abe Sapien, I think I might just go back and rewatch Hellboy. Like I said, I'm sick. I should be resting. Watching films and television is a good way to rest. Things that are usually done when one is resting. But I know myself. and I'm just going to be like, no, I need to catch up on work. I literally need to do all the work, even though I'm technically still sick and, need a nurse daddy to come take care of me. But that's okay. I'm a strong, independent woman. Don't need no man, apparently, I guess. I'll just stick with that if I gotta. So on that very note, on that note, I just wanted to give Abe Sapien some love and appreciation because he is literally so undervalued, especially when like people just see Hellboy and they're like, oh, Hellboy, and I'm over here like, no, Abe Sapien. Put some respect on that name. And speaking of Abe Sapien, just Doug Jones. Put some respect on that name. Like, I might do a whole ass episode on just Doug Jones in general because that man, that man is fucking amazing. Just the repertoire of creatures that he has been able to produce over the years, like decades, my dudes, decades. And it's just like, you are just the core. Fuck, I love that. Oh, God, yes, okay, nope, we're doing one. There's gonna be a Doug Jones appreciation episode. Somewhere, somehow, sometime in the future, it's gonna happen. And because oh, God, I keep thinking of all the characters. They're just, like, flowing through my mind. I'm just like, yes. Okay, anyway, I need to go rest. Like, I force myself to rest. Rest. We'll see how well this goes. Anyway, thank you guys for once again listening to this very rambly, very medication-induced episode of Here There Be Monster Fuckers. And I will be back next week on time because it is a weekly podcast, barring I go to the hospital again. I don't know. The world is crazy, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye. Improvisation, no outro music. I need to go rest, not work more. Yeah.